Hey Gemini, welcome to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing your love and separation read for the month of June. Happy birthday, by the way. Mercury retrograde moving into Taurus. This may be a more emotional part of retrograde, but the idea is to purge out and close out cycles. So let's see what we got for love for Gemini for June. Okay, I hid who I really am from you. I left when I saw you with someone else. I know that I crossed the line with you. I love you. Oof. Okay, so I hid who I really am from you. So walls, insecurity, thinking that if you saw who they are really, that you are not going to love them the same. So this is a person who struggles with unconditional love, struggles with seeing and understanding what that means. And there's some issue here that indicates they know that they did something that they shouldn't have done, and they crossed a line with you. So let's see what's going on. Transformation, changes incoming, fresh start. Of course, they want the reconciliation. There's going to be a lot of themes of that because of Mercury retrograde. And self-worth. So this is calling you to look at your own self-worth, or maybe they've realized their own self-worth. A transformation's happened. And there may be a fresh start, or there's a desire for a fresh start with you. So let's see what we got going on. They may be coming in, rushing toward you with an offer. Celebration, an offer is incoming. It's a happy thing. Incoming communication regarding the offer. Somebody's had an epiphany about, they've had a light bulb moment about moving forward. So let's see what's going on with your partner. They lost you because of their deception, their own deception, or their deception towards you, which created a tower moment. I believe the reason the Tower card is in reverse here on the board is because they thought that their lie, I hid who I really am from you, they thought that withholding a truth would prevent a breakup, would prevent a Tower moment. But in the end, they lost you anyway because of that behavior. Sometimes honesty is the best policy. But I think we get into a line of thinking that, we don't want to show people all of those things. And so if we hide them, why, they're never going to find out. But it's not the case, because that very act is what nosedived this relationship. So let's see what's going on with you. So there's remorse. You're trying to maintain your balance. I think that you're trying to find your own opportunities in your life, and you're overcoming the betrayal. So I think you're in a line of thinking, was this true love? Did this person really love me? Was this all a lie? Or, was there some truth in this love relationship? So let's see what their blocks are. Okay, they're freeing themselves from something, which is great. Block in the past or block may be that they withhold. They withhold truths, obviously. They withhold. They're trying to get themselves out of their lie. Okay? They're trying to get themselves out of their lie. This may be a place this person finds themselves in quite a lot. So now the idea is to tell you the truth, to gush out these feelings or the truth in this situation that happened here. That is going to free them. So, I mean, that's a little bit of progress, but I mean, how many times is it going to happen, you know? So we don't know that we're out of the woods just yet, you know, because they are doing something. Oh, I'm going to tell Gemini the truth. Everything's going to be okay. But what happens in the next time? You know, when they're caught in a lie, you know, and they want to gush out the truth to you. I mean, there's only a couple of times that you're going to deal with that, right? Any person is going to deal with that. So the block is being honest and authentic to begin with, okay? So let's see what your blocks are. I think you're deeply upset about this situation and you don't see how it can move forward because of the truth that was hidden from you. I think that's where you're at. That was this a facade? Was this even real? How can we move forward if they don't feel like they can tell me the truth? You know, how can we move forward if I'm only having a relationship with a surface character, not a real person? And so I think that the block here is, though, that I think you're going in your own head too much about it because you don't think it was real. And so you're doubting your own efforts in the situation, right? I mean, you can't help what somebody does sometimes. You can only control what you do or how you react to it. But I think you're going back, beating yourself up, right? About, well, I should have seen this. I should have seen that. I should have known. And so you kind of have to let that go because this situation was not created by you. This situation was created by this person. So I think this is about self-forgiveness. But while we're on the subject, I'd really like to know what the heck went on. So let's look at this Seven of Swords up here on your partner's side. See what the deal is. The Seven of Swords, you know, let's see. Some of you may be have been in a relationship or a situation with someone who professed and told you and, you know, was adamant about having gotten over the loss of another relationship or a loss of a person, love interest. And they were very adamant about it with this Queen of Swords. No, there's no residual feelings. No, this is over. We're not together anymore. I'm not feeling anything for this person anymore. Regret, sadness, loss was not discussed. So it's kind of like they gave you a false sense of safety in investing in the relationship because they were, you know, clearly telling you that they were over someone or a relationship, and they were not. You know, you can't burn the candle at both ends because when you do, you get burned. And I think that's kind of what happened. This person got caught up in their own shit, in their own lie, and because they were burning the candle at both ends. trying to keep, holding on to this shit over here and then keep you, going in a specific direction with their words. So they lied to you about being over something else, someone else. Best I can gather. Show me the Five of Cups. And they were dragging their feet also. Dragging their feet, moving forward with you. So this card here, Nine of Pentacles. Well, if you're so happy and contented being single away from this relationship, then why the stalling? Why are you stalling out? Show me the Nine of Pentacles. Show me the Nine of Pentacles. Stalling out because they were still saving space. They were still hoping that this other person that they said they were over and they weren't would come back, would give them some sort of indication that they could get back together or whatever, right? And so that's why they were stalling out, because they were hoping something would happen over here with this person that didn't. So basically, if it's not a yes, then it's a no. If somebody's telling you, oh, they're not ready for committed relationship, then it's a no. And don't continue to hang around for their entertainment. If somebody says, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, then it's a no. So if a person truly wants you, then they will take a natural movement toward that thing that they desire. Yes, they do, right? But if they're sitting there not being sure and they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, then they're stalling out because they do know what they want. We normally do know what we want, right? It's actually the doing and the clear decisiveness that we stumble on, right? So that must have been what the lie was about. Somebody was holding space for someone else, hoping they would come back, and you're just kind of filling up their time. And I think that's why you're coming away from this, because they were being very good about telling you, Gemini, oh, they were adamant, but when it got right down to it, they were stalling out. So I think that's why you feel like you're beating yourself up a little bit, because you believed them and you acted as though it was a committed relationship. And I think that they did too. And then all of a sudden the truth comes out with who they really want to be with, right? Or who they were holding space for. So again, forgive yourself. Let's see what's going on between the two of you. Yeah, they were holding on to another opportunity for healing. Wasn't happening, wasn't coming, but they were holding on to the idea of it. They were unhappy it wasn't happening. King of Coins in the reverse and the moon indicate that something that was not quite clear became clear. And King of Pentacles in the reverse indicates to me that it became very clear to you, Gemini, that this person was not going to commit to you. It became very clear that they were holding space for someone else. So let's see how and why. How did this become clear and why? I think they were doing, there may have been some action about when I laid the Magician card down, it seems like there was an action to indicate that they were still interested in this person. that they were still looking for another opportunity with this person by their behavior. They were trying to make them present themselves to this person that they hadn't let go of, in a way that was, I'm better, I'm balanced, I'm more with it in my life now. See, look at me, here I am, look at me, here I am. So it was some kind of action about them wanting this person's attention. Caused a ruckus, caused a fight, caused some conflict between the two of you. Emperor and Empress. It caused you to believe, okay, that, well, maybe these two really belong together. If that's where this person's interests lie, then maybe that they belong together. They have a history together. This person is still trying to vie for this other person's attention here. So maybe they do, maybe they do. This was just a lie. I was just a third party. I was just a third wheel. And I didn't realize it. And I think that's when you decided to drop these burdens. Dropping the burdens means, whatever the issues were in the situation. A lot of times we get into this tarot speak, and I try to avoid that. So I'm trying to explain it to you. You dropped the issues. You were carrying a lot of hopes, and you were carrying a lot of red flags that you were ignoring. And you finally dropped them. And you went off into this healing phase from betrayal. Because then I think you knew 10 and 10, end of stuff, beginning of new stuff. You're in a waiting room. And the fact that you were continuously in a waiting room with this person because they continued to stall out until they could get this other person's attention. You kind of, boing, it kind of clicked together, right? And so I think you realized at that moment that you saw that this was done. You have been in a waiting room for a very long time with this person, apparently. So, and you decided, you know what? I'm going to call it like it fucking is. Bye. I'm done. This is what it's going to be always. I'm filling a space for someone. So I'm done with that. So let's see how they feel about you. So I think that you kind of had to draw a boundary there. You kind of had them call them out on their shit. And that's when it was, that's when it came to a head. That's when it was revealed. So let's see how they're feeling about you. Illusions. Illusions are broken. So I think they realized that they couldn't keep it up with you anymore. They couldn't move forward with you anymore in this illusion that they created. It's time for us to make other plans because I'm holding on to someone else. Now, are they verbally telling you, hi, I think it's time for us to make other plans because I'm holding on to someone else? No. But their actions are showing you that. This situation showed you that. It's kind of like a bullshit thing about, I think it's time we see other people. Well, the only time someone really comes to the conclusion that it's time we see other people is because they have another people in mind, right? There's somebody there. So this is kind of the way it feels to me, right? No longer could live in the illusion that they created about moving forward with you because actually, Gemini, you were the other woman. They had somebody in mind, or other man, okay? You guys know how to work it around for your own situation. But you were the other woman, the other partner. And I think it's time that we make other plans. And the reason why is because they're holding on to this person up here, waiting for them to throw them a bone. And it was, you have a 7 here, okay? And 7s to me are always about intuition and psychic abilities and fated things, right? And so this person, clearly a karmic, was meant for you to realize your own self-worth, meant for you to stop ignoring the red flags. You put it down, right? You said, okay, this is the boundary. Look, you're playing around here. And for you to trust your gut and call things like you see it. For you to find your own balance. But also this is about you curing a self-loathing that you're having about not about being vulnerable to someone. And forgiving yourself when you are vulnerable with others. So let's see what they're thinking. So I think you knew all along anyway, back to the 7, that something wasn't right. You know, it just didn't feel, something was off, you know. So maybe this is a lesson, of course, easier said than done, right? But about listening to your own intuition and your own gut when it comes to when you feel like something's off. King of Wands, what are they thinking? Hit it and quit it. What are they thinking? Confusion. This is about a little bit of love bombing. Came out in the reverse, okay? A little bit of love bombing in this situation. They were hoping, I think, that they would get someone else's attention by plopping you down into that position that the former lover, you know, held, right? They were just playing around a little bit. But it's, some people don't have the guts to call it that, right? Like, look, this is what it is. So I think they kept you under an illusion. Again, illusions, 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups. That this was a deep connection. Except they said that, but they weren't putting in the work to show you the fruits of that labor, right? So let's see what their intentions are. So for those of you who are new to the channel, the love and separation reads are not necessarily about new love. If new love comes up in the reads, great. But this is about residual energy sometimes and lessons, karmic lessons. This is about somebody maybe who you've had a relationship and you're separated from, or, you know, you are thinking about this person or what have you. So this is more about kind of learning lessons that karmics teach us. Sometimes it's twin flame reads and separation from your twin, but these aren't necessarily going to be about what's coming towards you with new love. There's a lot of indicators that happen in these reads about, you know, what this person may be doing or what they're going to do, or, you know, you're moving on to new love, but it's not a focus on that. So just so you're aware, let's see what their intention is. Sometimes for people, these are roadmaps about putting something to bed, right? They may come back and breadcrumb you, hoping that you'll just come right in and everything will be back to normal again with this 10 of Pentacles card, about bringing a false sense of stability back to you so that you will, you know, continue to entertain them. So basically you got love bombing, breadcrumbing, hit it and quit it. I'm not sure, confusion, all the classic bullshit relationship stuff, right? So this person may be coming in very quickly, very fast moving, okay? This is also a person who wants to go from 0 to 100 in like 2 months, okay, of a relationship, you know, that, you know, they're like, you know, all of a sudden they're in love with you. You're their soulmate. They've never met anybody like you. You know, you save them, you're healing them, whatever. And, hey, let's move in together. I mean, you know? And so you're sitting there thinking to yourself while this is going on, because maybe you're not catching on, maybe you are, wow, this person really loves me. I've never had anybody be like this with me before. And so that's why it's so easy for all of us to fall into these kind of traps, because, I mean, we're human, we're human beings. So forgive yourself. That's very strong, forgiving yourself. So what are their intentions? Okay, when they don't get this, this bullshit over here that they're trying to do with this person doesn't go the way they want it to, they're going to be right back on your doorstep, breadcrumbing your ass again, trying to make it look like, oh, hey, let's commit, let's be together, let's whatever. So they will start the cycle up again, okay? Their intention is to continue to get you on this hook, right? Because they are not understanding that they need to heal themselves. They need to deal with their codependency and whatever the hell it is they keep messing with you for. Let's see what they're going to do. Okay, Gemini. Moving forward, it looks like to me they may come in with a little bit of truth to gain your trust back in the situation, right? Yes, it was hard for me to let this person go. I didn't anticipate that this was going to go anywhere with us. That took me by surprise, yet they were adamant about it going somewhere with you, right? So here's my truth, in part. And I realized, that I just want to take this leap with you. I just want this commitment with you. So coming in with a partial truth, coming in with the idea of commitment, which is future faking, okay? Coming in with a little bit of transparency to redirect you in the way that they want you to go to continue to feed their ego. Now, when they come to you like this and you feel like it's legitimate and your intuition is telling you, hey, yes, then do what you feel is best, trust your intuition above all. But, what you really need to do is sit down and think about this person's pattern. Because by this point, this may have happened more than once, So think about this person's pattern. What do they think you're going to do? What does Gemini's lover think Gemini's going to do? Universe, show me what I need to see. They think that you're going to continue to nurture them, feed their ego, love them, heal them. You've got something that I need, okay? This is the hook, all right? Gemini, you've got something that I need that I can't generate myself because I'm too broken. You've got something that I need to have, right? Think about that. You are my happiness. So I see, though, that you're kind of just going to be like driving on. I mean, they want to create this idea that you're so loving and they've never met anyone like you before. And, which they, that could be totally possible, totally 100% legitimate. But I see you saying what you have to say to this person and going away. Going in the other direction, speeding off away from them. What is Gemini going to do? I think you're going to juggle with the idea, is it legitimate or not for a minute? Is it balanced? But you have the Four of Swords and you have the Four of Wands. And I think that in your mind, even though it may be presented in one way, in your mind, I think you know that it's not. And that's why you have the juggle. Because if it was solid and there wasn't all this confusion and deflection and game playing, I don't think that you would be juggling with the idea. I think that it would be a yes for you. But you're going to be in a period of time in which you're trying to decide if it's legitimate or not. But I think your intuition is going to be telling you that something's just not quite right here, just like it has been all along. Let's see why they changed their mind. Let's see. Why? Why do they want this? Why does Gemini's lover want this? Universe, show me what I need to see. Why? Okay. Why? Thinking about overcoming. How can I overcome this in a way that's not, how do I heal myself? No. How do I get this person back? How do I get this person? How do I overcome this rejection that I receive from this person, right? Thinking about how to get a leg up. Then this devil comes out next, right? How do I get a leg up on this? How do I make them regret what they did to me? And they're using you to do it. Okay? In the end, they're still hanging on, though. Okay, still hanging on to the other person. So let's see what a final outcome can be. So remember, if you're not number one, then you're not. You're not. You're not number one. Not to be hateful or negative, but listen, it's a matter of boiling it down sometimes, because it can be so easy to make excuses or live in the gray area of things sometimes. But if you're not number one, then you're not anything, right? We move toward what we want. We move toward what we desire. Okay, simple as that. If I want a Slurpee, I'm going to run up to the 7-Eleven and get one. I'm not going to sit here for 10 years and think about, well, should I get a Slurpee? Should I not? No. People move toward what they want and what they desire, period. And if you're not number one, then you're not. Gemini, you're going to be going on your own new beginning. You're going to block this situation out. You're not even going to accept any apologies from this person. You're going to be moving on to your own success. You are going to elevate and close a cycle out in your life, a lesson learning cycle, okay? And you are going to have the victory in this situation because you are riding toward your victory. Meanwhile, this person is going to be going back, and it's backwards in the camera. This person is going to be driving toward the same old thing that they always have. They're going to be going, you release them, okay, well, I find somebody else who'll play with me. And they're going to be going toward that energy. You made the decision to defend yourself and say, hey, you shall not pass. No more. You're not getting past my defenses anymore. So, good job, Gemini, is what I say. We can't help what people do sometimes. But it doesn't mean we stay where they want us to be, right? Let's see what they want to say to you. I feel damaged, like I just can't do this. Amen. Yes, they do, because they are. They got a hole they got to fill up. I thought a lot about you lately, okay? Regret, remorse. I feel badly by the way that I treated you. You didn't deserve that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So, this is kind of like validation for them coming out and saying, yeah, I shouldn't have done that to you. I admit, in part, right, in a tarot card reading, I'm admitting my guilt. Yes, I did do that. I did do it, and I regret it. Let's see what their next move is. But it doesn't mean you go back into pattern, go back into situation. It means you accept it, okay, and move on. This person may not be capable of anything different. Bondage, keeping you in a position for their own enjoyment. You decided to lay burdens down, right? We talked about laying the burdens down. Overload. So you decided to get rid of it. I think that I think you saw something in this person that kind of made you feel a little bit sorry for them in a way. I think you saw something here in this person that kind of made you feel like, you know, maybe your love would be good enough to fix it for them. Except they kept needing more and more and more to fix it. And instead of returning, you know, it being a cycle between the two of you, they took your healing so that they could go back and do whatever with this other person some more, right? I think that you did show them love and intimacy and peace for a while. But sometimes people are not ready to accept that, right? I think you feel defeated, but understand that there's something coming around the bend for you. This is about them learning their lessons. So they may gravitate back toward you in order to have some more of that healing energy that you've given them, right? But again, this is going to be about future faking, about a union between the two of you and a special bond and relationship. And, you know, and this is just their way of sort of trying to be dominant in this situation again. And I think that you kind of want to save yourself a little bit of heartache in reopening that wound. I mean, I would assume so. Well, let's see what how they're feeling about you. Physically, sexually, in the bedroom, whatever. Yeah, I'm seeing there's a lot of differences in the bedroom too because of the intimacy level. It's hard sometimes when you're trying to make it about lovemaking and it's just simply fucking for somebody else, right? And I think that when you look back on this situation, you're going to find that there were a lot of holes there. You know, a lot of disconnect that you overlooked on purpose. You know, you just pushed it aside. Also, this person may have been, they have been all about reconciliation with the former lover. So the intimacy wasn't there. If you take a look back on the pattern, I think that you're going to find that, you know, you weren't even getting your needs met in that respect either. So let's look at some advice cards. Soulmates. Okay, now this is a really great example of what I've been talking about. You see how the soulmates card is in the upright and then you've got loyal heart in the reverse? What you want to see are these two things being the same, mirroring each other, right? The same feelings, validation, soulmates, you know, the two of you are together, but this is what you have. And so while they were talking about soulmate energy and they were presenting that to you as how they felt about you. This is really the situation, their loyalty. Where was it? So they were talking out of both sides of their mouth, right? They were talking out of both sides of their mouth. Remain flexible in your healing. You're headed toward a happy life. Let your friends support you. Ask the important questions, right? The why questions. Why did I ignore those things? Why did I feel like I could provide something to fix this person? Why? Okay, that's going to be part of your getting out of this self-loathing thing that you're doing. Asking the why questions. Analyzing what you're feeling instead of pushing it aside. Be kind to yourself. There's going to be chaos and conflict. Understand, though, this situation was not for you, and it's time for you to receive love. It's time for you to receive, not to be constantly giving. And that's where your peace is going to lie. I think that, sometimes we have to feel those emotions and go through them, and that's how we gain our peace. Sometimes when it's, when the dish is too salty, adding more salt isn't going to make it less salty. So we have to go in and then figure out kind of where we went wrong, right? Not where you went wrong necessarily, but why you ignored the things that you ignored in order to have the relationship go, right? Okay, here we go. My work is deeply fulfilling. Changing focus. I now create a wonderful new job. Okay, this is something about somebody's career. Focus back on their career. Freedom is my divine right. All is well in my world. I see my parents. Okay, so I see my parents as children who need love. So ignoring red flags and maltreatment may have seemed normal because it was a pattern that was presented to you. It's safe for you to look within. So it's okay for you to sit down and analyze something, but be easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up about not being able to figure out why, because I think that's what this is about. The journey is about figuring out why. But you have to forgive yourself on the way to that place. So, Gemini, you dodged a bullet. And I will be back with second half June. Happy birthday.